If you want to go on the adventure of a lifetime, then you must accept the obstacles that come along with that. Otherwise, you will fail every single time. Today is Friday, November 21st. Had a nice morning run with my friend Raymond, who, for those of you who don't know, Ray and I met at a Last Person Standing event in Duluth a few years back. He was at the Wausau Last Person Standing event that I won in May, and also he was a part of the 4-person group, including myself, that ran from Duluth back down to the Twin Cities. Took us 3 days, about 52 to 55 miles a day. And then I also saw him at Mines of Spain when I was pacing Caius. But great guy. We got 11 miles in an hour and 53 minutes. We were cruising, and we were over at Highland Hills, so a lot more elevation, up and down hills, trails. It was good. It was great, actually. I was telling him I hadn't run that early in the morning in a really long time, so it felt good to get the day off and moving early, because typically I lift in the morning and Fridays is our off day. And so it was good to get out and moving. And this is the time of the month that is difficult to get anything else done. Like, the content side of things becomes much more difficult. And it's funny because the issue I have at the end of the month is I have a lot more to talk about because I'm experiencing more. I'm running more miles, I'm going through more of the adversity, I'm going through much more of the digging in and experiencing what I have to then share here, but I don't have as much time to be able to cut it up, edit it, post it, share about it. Or then at the beginning of the month, I don't have as much content to share because running 1 to 2 to 3 miles a day really isn't that fascinating. Although there is that time where I can recap, which I'm gonna do, where I can recap the month. But it's a weird world. It's a weird world. Next week I'm headed back to Chicago on Tuesday, flying home, take care of the rest of my miles that week home for Thanksgiving. And then I'll take the train back on the 1st, and it'll be all lovely. It'll be all lovely. Traveling during the holidays is tough. It's especially tough when you're running. I'm gonna be running 189 miles next week. That's bizarre. Simply bizarre. Let's see, anything else? Any other updates? Not really, so let's get into the thought of the day. We don't generally hear about the context of, oh, when it gets hard. Wait, I actually signed up for this part of the equation too. And I think what's important to remember anytime we're going to start a pursuit, start a discipline, or just need reminders of while we're in it. Because I'll be quite honest with you, I need this reminder all the time. I need to be reminded of how this is really hard, I don't want to be here, this sucks, and I need that reminder of like, oh yeah, I chose to take part in the difficult side of this, the obstacles, the adversity, all of it. So this is what has helped me anytime I'm thinking about, if this is the path I should go down, if this is the journey I should go down or pursue, is, do I like the most painful parts of the process? Or at the very least, can I tolerate and still find ways of moving forward where it's not agonizing to go through and still get through to the other side? I think it's important to judge how willing and able we are to go through the process of anything. It's not by looking at how high the highs are, but can we find tolerance in the lowest of lows? And that's one thing that's really helped me in running, is understanding that, hey, even at the worst, I still find fulfillment in it. I still find that I enjoy, weirdly enough, the process. And almost like, in a weird way, even though it is not something that I'll say is easy to admit, or even something that I believe to be true in the moment, it's not until after the fact that the hardest moments are actually the moments that I most enjoy. Now, it's easy to say that after the fact in reflection, but the hardest parts of ultra, of running, is when it is the most difficult, because that's when I learn the most. That's when I learn the most about not just the world, not just my perspective of it, but it's really allowed me to get a better perspective of what's going on internally. And I get this unique opportunity for this small period of time, for this flash in a pan, to what's a mosquito? To prove to myself that I am the person that I say I am. And that has given me just an abundance of confidence, even when I fail, because I then have the choice to go back and fix or problem solve or get better in the areas that I failed in. And that is weirdly enough a really fun and entertaining and fulfilling part of life. So you got to find that for yourself. It might not be running, it could be running, it could be something physical, it could be art. I got a buddy named Ike who makes unbelievable art out of reclaimed wood, and he has his own endurance challenge in terms of having a project and doing it for hundreds of hours and going through the process of idea to figuring out where he can find wood to bringing that to life. And the way he describes it to me, it's so similar to running an endurance race physically, like an ultra marathon. There are aspects that you enjoy, there are aspects when you want to quit, there are aspects when you feel like it's just you're not making any progress, and such is life. And I think having something physical that we're doing in our material world, that's what I mean by physical, to conceptualize that part of life makes it maybe not easier to go through life, but it makes it less daunting. We get this real understanding because we're experiencing it in a very real way. I have an understanding that, this moment in my life is it's so enjoyable and it's fruitful, and at the same time it's incredibly difficult because I don't know what tomorrow looks like. I don't know what my financial situation is going to look like a week from now, 6 months from now. And that's scary, that's daunting. But at the same time, I've done enough, endurance races where I thought, man, there's no way I could take another step. There's no way I could keep going like this. And yet I somehow figure out a way to come out the other side and find the light. And just knowing that I've done that in one area allows me to see, hey, I haven't been in this situation before. I haven't been in this unknown before, but I know what it's like to be in an unknown situation, and I know what it feels like to just keep moving. And I'm going to try and embody those characteristics in this situation, in this new unknown. And man, we gotta be our own best teachers in that. We gotta not, you can't take that from me. Don't experience it for yourself. Don't just sit behind the screen and watch me and get inspired by it and be like, yeah, that sounds great. No, go live it. Go experience it. And yes, share it. But remember, I'm doing the work here, you need to do the work there, and we need to make sure we're encouraging each other and holding each other accountable to do that. Life isn't about the knowledge. That's just one part of it. It's about applying that knowledge to the real world. So I think I'll get off my soapbox here. I saw this tree fall. I think I've said that before, but it's pretty wild though, standing right over there. All right, happy Friday. I'll see y'all tomorrow.